met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Talladega Superspeedway lives up to its name. Of all the closed-circuit motorsports facilities in the world where sanctioned auto races are held, it is the fastest. Constructed by the France family 10 years after Daytona International Speedway, Talladega was built slightly longer at 2.66 miles with steeper banking at 33 degrees, which guaranteed record-setting speeds. The pole speed for NASCAR's first race in 1969, a stunning 199.46 miles per hour, almost 30 miles per hour faster than the Indy cars were then lapping at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Rule changes in 1987 meant that Bill Elliott's 212.809 mile per hour lap will likely stand forever as the qualifying record at Talladega and for NASCAR. Talladega is still the fastest track on the schedule. It holds the record for the fastest 500-mile stock car race at 188.35 miles per hour, Mark Martin's winning speed in May of 1997, and produces some of the most exciting door-to-door racing every year. Talladega puts on 5 separate race events each year as host of the NASCAR Cup Series, Xfinity, Craftsman Trucks, and the ARCA Series. Tonight, it's the Garza Law Firm Talladega 70, and it's next on HBR TV. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the virtual Talladega Superspeedway for tonight's Howell Graphics Truck Series. Garza Law Firm Talladega 70, downrange. Well, it's not downrange transport. We'll fix that. But again, the Garza Law Firm Talladega 70, race number 6 on the season. Take a look at the air temperature. It's 78 degrees, 55% humidity, partly cloudy skies. 2 mile per hour breeze, not really even noticeable here at the Speedway. And 113 degree track temp, not likely to be much of an issue here tonight. Again, Super Speedway, we're talking drafting, we're talking wide open throttle all the way around this 2.66 mile tri-oval for 70 laps. Practice just about wrapped up here, a couple of minutes remain. Let's go down trackside to see where everyone is starting to stack up. Brett Guzik is your fastest so far at 51.32. Klein just quickly, and now Drew Blaze quickly goes top of the board, 51.27. We've got a big pack of trucks all grouped up in the draft. Keep an eye on these lap times here. They're going to be nowhere near that when it comes to qualifying here in just about a minute or so. We got Tower Operator, Winker Nation, go number 42. Tower Operator, I'm just curious. I can't really see the thumbnail, but it looks like there might be some fire in the background. I kind of make the assumption that you might be a firefighter. I put 15 years in. Now I'm working for a chemical company and doing broadcasting on the side. But if you're a fireman, that's pretty damn cool. Thank you for what you do. Best job in the world. Just about 20 seconds before the flagman will drop the black and red on the session. And we'll get right into qualifying without really any delay. Looks like Drew Blaze is going to lead the practice session. Not by a whole lot, as Guzik technically has the same lap time, only carried out to the hundredths place. Very well could have been even closer than that. But that's it. Session in the books. We're going to jump right into qualifying. We'll see who takes to the pit lane first and starts their Q run. So far, nobody. Now there's one. We got Brant Morrow think this is a newcomer to the series. Morrow in the number 71 Beechcraft Chevy Silverado. Tower operator says, used to work for the railroad, now I build custom homes. Muhlenberger Custom Homes. All right, well, we've seen that on a couple of trucks out here in this series, but tower operator, my brain immediately went to a ladder truck, but it is what it is. Either way, custom homes are a bonus. You're usually there after they burn one down. Now listen closely. We're going to ride on board here with Brant Morrow. Watch the tachometer. You see it there in the left of your screen, right in the middle of the steering wheel. Only running about 6,500 RPM. Make a special note. Even just hearing the audible noise of this engine without being in the draft, it almost sounds like he's got a problem. But again, in qualifying, he's running a lot slower. Only 170 miles an hour down into turn one. I say only. That's still moving pretty good, but it's certainly not the 190 that we're used to seeing. We got Sean O'Flick in the stream chat as well, looking for a good race tonight with the 42. Also, hashtag Winker Nation. Morrow out of turn four. Going to complete lap one here in just a moment. Now remember, we talk about this every time we run here at Talladega. Start-finish line, not in the middle of the tri-oval like it is at Daytona. It's right about here. There it is. As Morrow crosses the stripe. 56.080. We saw lap times in the 51-second category in practice. That was in the draft. Chris Klein, though, a 56.055. He was fastest, but not for long. Jeremy Paris, the number 24. He goes P1, 56 flat. We'll see if lap 2 is any faster for Chris Klein. It's honestly hit and miss here at Talladega. We've seen a lot of guys be able to throw down their fast lap on lap 1 versus that second lap. Traditionally, guys used to be able to be faster on lap 2. They'd throw away the first lap, run the high lane, try to build up the momentum. These trucks build so much drag, they don't have a ton of power under the hood by comparison. So that second lap tended to be faster. But some guys have found that first lap can be quicker, mainly because tire pressures are low on that first lap. And as tire pressures increase, it allows that tire to grow. And when that tire grows, it increases the overall ride height of the race vehicle. Puts that rear spoiler in the air more than it needs to be. It's not as sealed off to the racetrack as it needs to be fast. So sometimes lap 1 is quicker. As you see, that was the case here for Klein. Justin Johnson, 11th quick on his first lap, 56.091. Lap 2 for Justin, it's slower as well, 56.154. So it seems that first lap is the quicker. Derek Welch wrapping up 56.040 to 172, also quicker on that first lap. Chris Goins in that number 41 Popple F-150 down the backstretch. We got Randy Coaching saying, let's go 19. Good to see some stream chatters already here. Chris Goins across the stripe, 56.064, 10th quick. So far, haven't seen anyone improve on lap 2. I'm curious to see if that is remaining the case. Dominic Rossi on the track into the start-finish line. He finishes up his lap, 56.078. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're here, by the way, listening and you hear odd noises like, well, somebody hammering something, there's a little bit of construction going on here in the studio at HBR TV, so just disregard. We'll try to keep that to a minimum the best that we can. Qualifying is in the books. Not everybody getting out there to take a lap, but pay no mind to that. We'll get a look here at our starting grid for the Garza Law Firm Talladega 70 right now. On the pole position with a lap time of 55.998. With the Days of Thunder race team, it's Jeremy Paris. Outside front row with Premier Racing Setups, it's Ed Marshall. Starting in the second row, P number 3, car number 29, truck that is, Heath Snyder. Starting fourth, it's Brian Shepard in the number 88 machine. Starting fifth, Kevin Winker in the 42. The 01 NTR machine of Derek Welch will roll from P6. Jared Haynes, the number 89, will start 7th. Brett Guzik, been fast all season. The 04 will start 8th. Chris Klein, fast in practice, also with Numb Thumbs Racing. He'll start 9th. Chris Goins with Right Turn Racing with Popple ablazoned on his truck. He'll start 10th. PJ Cox starts 11th. Dominic Rossi will roll from P12. Dominic Rossi, man, that sounds like an open-wheel driver. But here we are in the trucks. It's okay. He can stay. Starting 13th, newcomer Brent Morrow. Kevin Grettenberger is going to start 14th. The 10 of Justin Johnson rolls 15th. Sean Roberts, the 66. Man, does he do anything but race? He's starting 16th. Kyle Morrison in the 12, starting 17th. Chris Watkins with ASR Racing. He'll start 18th. Mitchell Howell, Warhawk Motorsports, the number 93, will roll from the 19th position. Timmy Stubblefield, the number 92, with, Stubbs Racing. He'll start 20th. Mike Eden out of Pennsylvania. He'll start 21st. 22nd, Ken Couch. 23rd, Dave Dufour, the number 22, out of Canada. Brandon Domain will start 24th. Drew Blaze starting 25th here tonight in the 1. We'll have to see how he can work his way up through the field here tonight. 26th, Jarrett Woodard in the 79. 27th, Randy Coaching. Ken Blackburn rolls 28th, and shotgun on the field in the petty blue colors, the number 43 of Jonathan Arnn rolling 29th. It's your starting grid for the Garza Law Firm Talladega 70. Still waiting on the field to start their initial pace lap here, and here they roll. Trying to get organized here. Should have just one pace lap here. We should go to the green flag the next time by. David Keel in the stream chat says, stop. Hammer time. Not sure why, but I'll allow it. It gave me a chuckle, my friend. Again, this season brought to you by Howell Graphics. Tonight's race brought to you by the Garza Law Firm. It is the Garza Law Firm Talladega 70. $70 laps, 186.2 miles, the race distance here tonight. David Keel, in response to the hammering in the background comment. How did I miss that? It's been a busy week. Jeremy Paris once again here in a, basically a primer paint scheme. Looking for some sponsorships for that number 24. If anybody's looking to put their business on the side of a truck, he is definitely a good one to go with. Successful driver, always running towards the front. So we wait through the tri-oval. Pace car's already down pit lane, waiting for Barney the flagman to wave the green as they get into the Great Geico restart zone. Barney waves the green, and we're racing from Talladega Superspeedway. Field still coming up to speed. It takes almost a full lap to come up to full song. Remember, in qualifying, we saw speeds of 170 miles an hour. We've already seen 187, 188 miles per hour as they come back to the tri-oval for the first time here. Lap 1 in the books. Paris with the lead over the 42 of Winker on the outside. Big push coming from the 29 to Snyder as he edges out in front of the second spot, but just by about a foot. Out of turn number 2. First time at full speed down the backstretch. Some more race details tonight. 1 set of tires available over the wall. So 2 for the whole race. Should be more than enough. I wouldn't be shocked to see some of these drivers not take tires at all. The big caveat's going to be the fuel percentage at 80% instead of a full 100% fuel load. They shorten it up a bit, try to force a little bit of strategy. Field side by side, down the back straightaway into turn number 3. Paris still with the lead by just a narrow margin. 42 of Kevin Winker to the outside. Had Marshall running third. Snyder is fourth. So they work on a turn 4 here. Going to put lap 4 up on the board here in just a moment. Already a distinct pack separated itself from the rest of the field. Could be by design, trying to stay out of that larger pack in case there's an early crash. Again, we talked about race details. They do have 1 fast repair at their disposal if necessary. Again, only if necessary. One thing we do see quite a bit of here on the super speedways is late race cautions. If that happens, we do have 2 opportunities at green, white, checkered finishes. Try to get this thing done under the green flag, but let's just cross our fingers. Maybe we don't get any big crashes. We don't have any yellows. We run this thing green to checker. Winker up the racetrack. Don't know if he got pushed or slipped, but nonetheless, slows the momentum of that top lane down. It's going to move the 29 to Snyder into the second spot, still right behind Jeremy Paris. Again, still a big pack here, separated from the rest of the field. A 4-truck draft. It's PJ Cox, Justin Johnson, Drew Blaze, Jonathan Arnn. I think Ken Blackburn there at the tail of that. Kyle Landon Morrison did not take the green flag, it appears. Looks like he ran 2 laps, actually, and has since parked it. Ken Blackburn in the 155 machine. I don't know if this 5-truck draft can catch that big group up ahead. I don't know what the situation is or how this thing came about that they decided, all right, we're going to go way back from the leaders here, create our own pack. Might not have been a plan. It might have just kind of happened that way. But man, I don't know. Even a 5-truck draft, I just don't see him being able to reel in that big pack way up ahead. They're a full straightaway already behind. They're certainly going to need a caution to get caught up unless they really get organized here and stay pin straight. Single file all the way around the racetrack. You almost drive as 1 truck instead of 5. If they can do that, then I don't see any reason why they can't reel in those leaders. But PJ Cox at the front of this small pack, he's going to burn the most fuel, so it's kind of at his detriment if that's the case. If these guys can work together for a handful of laps, then switch positions, kind of share that fuel burn between the 5 of them, it could work out. These guys really do need to get formed up. Jonathan Arnn, a whole truck length off the back bumper of Drew Blaze. Ken Blackburn almost 2 trucks off the back bumper of Jonathan Hart. These guys have to tighten up and get single file. Meanwhile, change of position out front. We're 3 wide, 3 rows deep for the race lead. Jeremy Paris on the bottom. Then it's Chris Klein, then the 71 of Morrow. A little early for this. Still got 90% of the race left. When you gotta go, you gotta go. Klein might have led that lap. Now Morrow inches a nose out in front in the top lane, the number 71 machine. Derek Welch giving the 71 of Morrow a good push. Got Dominic Rossi in the number 11 Toyota Tundra TRD Pro. Then the 88 of Brian Shepard. That's the top lane there. Morrow, Welch, Rossi, Shepard. Shepard about a half truck off the back bumper of the 11. I know you don't want to push the pusher, but you want to stay tucked up as close as you can. 4 cars up high, 4 trucks in the middle. Way more trucks on the bottom. Once again, Paris with a big-time push out of the number 29 truck of Heath Snyder. Those guys doing well, working together. Klein gets out in front, and the 42 of Winker cuts down in front of Jeremy Paris, sticks with the 51. Paris now back to third. The outside lane coming in, though, as well. Morrow, another big push from Derek Welch. Little wiggle from Paris. Snyder's going to go up into the middle lane in front of the 16 of Ed Marshall. And the 57 of Kevin Grettenberger in there as well. Snyder almost up into the 71. They avoid contact. Oh, we got trouble. Winker's around. Loses it. Out of turn 4, doesn't hit anything. It's just going to be a ton of track position lost. I don't think he's even going to be able to get going here to catch this second pack. He's really at a standstill here. Winker barely moving, 100 miles an hour, which sounds like maybe a lot, but compared to these guys, they're barely moving. Let's go back, take a quick look, see exactly what happened. Again, watch the 42 here of Winker. He's got Jeremy Paris. Hard to tell exactly. Looks just like an off-centered push from Jeremy Paris. Let's try looking at it here from the blimp. This will be the telltale. Little push, which is okay in the corners, but it sent the 42 up the track just a bit. And Paris gets into the left rear of Winker and sends him around. It's certainly not intentional. It's the game you play when you're drafting here in these trucks especially. If you can't push perfectly square, a lot of times, well, that's the end result. Truck goes around in front of you. So back out front, Heath Snyder now your race leader, ahead of the 16 Ed Marshall. Chris Klein, the middle lane, he leads that little pack there. On the high side, looks like Dominic Rossi. I think Jeremy Paris tucked in behind him for a moment. And the 71 of Brent Morrow, and Grittenberger goes up top. Thought we were going to have a big wreck there. They all get through it okay. Still 3 wide, though. Man, early for this kind of racing to be happening. I'm not complaining. It's exciting. But This is how you wad up some really good trucks. That's right, I'm board with Derek Welch. Brian Shepard, always the jokester. Speaking of NTR, Chris Klein continues to lead this race. The number 51 Beaver Direct Toyota TRD Pro. Snyder showing he is a very good pusher in that number 29 Silverado. Builds a good run, takes a look to the outside of Chris Klein. Marshall doesn't go with him. Brian Shepard thought about it. Really no help for the 29. They know he's going to be fast. It's hard to push the guy who's quick. You don't want to get him out front, and the caution is out. We've got trouble. Oh, guy's still driving into it really late. The 19 of Randy Coaching. Still full throttle as he gets into that pack of wrecking trucks. Shortens up the nose on the number 19. Let's try and get a look at it. May have started here with Ken Couch. Now it started further forward. It might have been Morrow. Man, we got to back this up even further. All right, so let's see. The one NTG truck of Derek Welch. Shepard comes down. He goes to the inside, and he might get a little piece. He does. Little piece of the 89 truck. That's Jared Haynes. Sends both of them up into the 71 tomorrow. He comes down. Collects three more trucks. So this wreck started on the exit of the tri-oval. They're already now into turn number 1, sliding up the racetrack into the banking. And then here comes the 19. I don't know if he didn't hear his spotter or didn't hear the yellow, but that's slow motion. Let's look at it here in real time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, almost 7 seconds after they start wrecking, and he barrels into him. Again, I give him some credit. I know it's hard to stop these things when you're doing almost 200 mile an hour. But let's watch it from his perspective. They're wrecking. And they're still wrecking. So, pit stop's underway. Looks like this is probably going to be fuel only for most of these drivers. 16 laps in. Again, you can probably go the whole race distance here at Talladega, 70 laps without taking tires. We've talked about it so many times how it really does not affect a whole lot as far as lap time is concerned. The only thing that it really does, if you opt for tires, is it allows you to be a little bit more aggressive with your moves late. So if you get a caution, I don't know, maybe the last 10, 15 laps, and you're in a position where it's not going to kill you to hit pit lane, that's when I would take tires. Because it gives you the opportunity to make those aggressive moves top to bottom, bottom to top, without worrying too much about if that truck's going to step out on you and spin around. So the comment in the stream chat It says, Shauna Fleck says, Winker, it's your time to shine. Winker still in the pits. But with all that said, I don't know why Winker's still in the pits. It doesn't look like he's got a lot of repairs. Maybe he had to make a trip to the John, but remember, he spun on a turn 4. They didn't get the caution for that, so he was way off pace, out of the draft, managed to stay on the lead lap. Caution's going to get him caught back up. But Grettenberger, I think, is in turns 3 and 4 right now. Winker still in pit lane. Minute 10, minute 11. Not sure the situation here with Kevin Winker, and there he goes. Might have just been waiting on fuel. That's a lot of fuel, though. Derek Welch still in the pits. Didn't have the fast repair checked, I'm guessing. Trying to get some repairs made. Matt Sisler in the stream chat says, I guess I'm a bad luck charm. I join and within 3 laps, the big one happens. Or it's just Talladega. That could be too. Too bad didn't see out here, Sisler. Usually it's a name we all know. It's a familiar one that we usually see here over in LSR. If I remember correctly, Sisler's work schedule has kept him out of the race truck here for a little while. So you guys can see it on the screen here, forming up 2x2. Pace car lights are off, so we're going green flag racing the next time by. It'll be lap 19. We've got 21 of you guys watching the stream here and only a few of you in the chat. Feel free to chime in. Tell us who your driver is, who you're cheering for, where you're tuning into the race from. Are you at home? Are you at work? What town? What city? What state? What country? We used to have a regular, I think her name was Haley. She joined us, I think it was from Sweden, on almost every single race. It's been a while since we've seen her. Maybe she's lurking, I don't know. She used to chime in and say hello, but HBR TV was an international broadcast for quite a while. Of course, we're on YouTube, so we're in every country that, well, every country that allows YouTube. Just some of those details that I like to know. Where is everybody tuning in from? How far does HBR TV reach? Never mind that, though. Pace car about to hit the hard left down pit road. Field getting organized side by side here. Again, got to work all the way through the tri-oval here before we get back to the stripe. Tower operator in Michigan. All right. Green flag is out. Kevin Grettenberger takes us back to the stripe. We're racing from Talladega once again. Grettenberger maintaining the top spot. Snyder in the second position still. He's been a contender all day, right up there in that top 3 or 4 since the drop of the green flag. Snyder started third. He's been a good pusher all day, but he's really good at making that quick draft and then a sharp move to the right. Goes to the outside, trying to go for the race lead here down the back straightaway. Big push coming from the 16 of Marshall. Jeremy Paris back to the inside, giving Grettenberger the push into turn number 3. Infinite Frost says Alabama supporting Haynes, the number 89. Thanks for checking in, guys. Snyder with a nose out in front. Grettenberger trying to build a run to come back to the line and take that lead back. Another good pusher in behind him. It's the 24 of Paris. So far, so good. Seems like most of the drivers have learned their early lessons about running 3 wide early on. Let's ride on board with Jeremy Paris, see what it looks like from his perspective. And we got trouble. No caution yet with half the pack just split apart. We really should have a yellow for that. I'm surprised it didn't bring one out. Half the field just wrecked in the middle of 3 and 4. Somehow, no yellow. Grettenberger maintains the lead here. Paris running second. Gotta be honest, I don't know how that did not trigger a caution flag. I don't even have any indication that anybody crashed, but you saw it with the rear view camera from Jeremy Paris. You see how stretched out the field has become since that incident. Ed Marshall comes to a stop in his pit stall. Significant damage on the number 16. Mike Eden rolls out of pit lane. Pretty bad damage on the 16. I don't know if he has a fast repair remaining or, again, just didn't get the chance to check it. He's down and away. Truck looks pretty good. Maybe he did use that fast repair. Either way, he's going to be in trouble here without the draft. Leader's coming on by. He's going to lose a lap for sure, but he does have the opportunity here to at least get back into the draft. If he can work his way back towards the front of these guys, stay in a good position, maybe pick up the lucky dog, he might be okay. Got Shauna Flick saying she's watching from Wisconsin. Thanks for checking in there. That's cool. Big time push from Jeremy Paris again, down into 3. Got Ricky and Beth Howard from North Carolina cheering on Ed Marshall. Ed Marshall having a tough go of it here all of a sudden, involved in that crash that did not bring out a yellow. Not much is changing up front. Snyder taking a look to the outside. Thought it might have been for some fresh air, but he goes topside, trying to make the move to the outside of Jeremy Paris. He's got help. 3 trucks in behind. Looks like Shepard, Stubblefield, and Chris Klein. "25 laps in here of 70 at Talladega Super Speedway." We're going to jump out, get an HBR TV side-by-side break out of the way. Fingers crossed, nobody wrecks in the meantime. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Talladega Super Speedway, the 29 of Heath Snyder has taken over the top spot. Kevin Grettenberger now the pusher, the second truck in that bottom lane. The top side, only 3 trucks in a row, not really enough to build a charge. Shepard is the leader in that group. The number 92, Timmy Stubblefield, in second there. Chris Klein, the back half of that trio. See, these 9 trucks have broken away from the rest of that field with that incident. Well, let's say about 5-6 laps ago. We did not get the caution for it. Many drivers getting separated. Oh, big time trouble. Hard impact. Snyder in the fence. Very hard caution on the speedway.
Difficult potential this week, so make sure we're finding our P's and Q's.
Huge wreck in the middle of 3 and 4. Snyder getting the worst of it. Snyder comes to rest on the exit of turn 4. That's going to do it for the 29 under our second caution of the evening. Just a few laps shy of halfway. Let's try and get a look at it, see how this one formed up. Already into it. Let's back it up. Grettenberger giving the 29 a push, gets to the bottom. Grettenberger slips up just a bit. tiny bit of net code with Brian Shepard, but a monstrous impact for Snyder into the safer barrier. Goes up just a bit, almost into the fence. Big time impact. So under our second caution, pit stops underway. Kevin Grettenberger down pit road. So is Jeremy Paris. Timmy Stubblefield and Chris Klein both stay out on the racetrack. Mitchell Howell running in the 5th spot. He's in the pits as well. So Timmy Stubblefield stays on the track with Chris Klein. Unless they opt to come down pit road this pass by, those two will start on the front row as we get the restart here in a couple of laps. We've got Nicole Scafidi, I think that's how we pronounce it, saying, "Let's go, Kevin, Winker Nation." Winker's got a lot of fans here in his stream chat. I think just about everybody here is a Winker Nation person. Which, that's fine with me. As long as you're in the stream chat, I don't care who you're cheering for. While you guys are all here, I could really appreciate it too. If one thing, it's great that you're here, but the second thing, while you're here, if you could take that mouse or your phone or whatever you're watching the broadcast on, just go over to YouTube, click the like button on the broadcast. Honest to God, that is the best thing for us here at HBR TV. It gets the stream and the broadcast kind of put out into some new eyeballs, people that wouldn't necessarily see it. It kind of triggers that algorithm a little bit more and gets some more fresh faces, not only watching HBR TV, but also the Lonestar Racing Truck Series, or Howell Graphics Truck Series for that matter. Help us out. I don't want to beg, and I'm not gonna, but I will kindly ask. Barney still holding that yellow flag in the wind. What little wind that there is. So with this caution, though, it does get everybody grouped back up. Remember, we had it was a yellow that wasn't a yellow, I guess is the best way to describe it. It's a multi-truck crash that did not draw a yellow flag. I still don't know how iRacing missed that. But it allows those drivers to get caught back up. Kind of puts us in a different situation here, almost like a new race. To clarify on that, some leagues do run with a live admin. Kind of keep an eye on those sorts of things. When a crash happens that iRacing doesn't throw the yellow for, the live admin can manually override and throw a caution. But this series, it's strictly iRacing yellows. I mean, it's got its pros and cons, it really does, but I will say trying to admin a race from behind the wheel, it's very difficult to do. Wreaks havoc on your concentration. It's not the easiest, not the funnest thing to do. So I can't say that I blame the admins here in LSR for choosing to run iRacing only cautions. That truly is the best way to do it, unless you're going to, again, you got to fork out the cash. If you're going to have a live admin, more often than not, it's going to be somebody you're paying to do that. And on average, it can run between $20 to $25 a race just to do, the officiating. Times however many races in the season, that adds up. So pace car lights are off. They're working off turn 4 here. The field is really jumbled up here. They're not formed up nicely side by side. We'll see if they wave this off or not. They're going to keep it going here. I don't like how it looks, but it is what it is. Going to be lap 34 when we take the green flag. Timmy Stubblefield going to lead the field back to the restart. Ugly restart.
Green flag.
It's just my opinion. Green flag in the air, we're back racing. Lap 34, Timmy Stubblefield with the race lead, and look who's second. The 42 of Kevin Winker. He's not out of this one yet. And a caution is out. PJ Cox possibly in trouble. Yes, indeed.
The box is the part that I'm mainly concerned about.
I don't know if PJ is going to make it back to pit lane, fresh off a win at Watkins Glen. Trouble for the 05. Let's see if we can get a look, see what happened with PJ Cox on the restart. Not even up to full speed just yet. Oh, what's going on here? The 55 just turns hard right up the racetrack. Let's back this one up. So there you see it, the 55. Middle of your screen, that orange machine with the MRN colors on the fenders, and then the 16, no, the 05 of PJ Cox here in behind. It almost looks like a Kingsford paint scheme here at the back of the frame. But let's slow it down. Full speed. Marshall goes to the bottom, makes contact. I don't know if that's just a gross overcorrection. I don't know what to say about it, to be honest. Let's ride on board, see if we can watch the steering wheel position on the 55 machine of Michael Eden. On the restart. Yeah, I don't know. Steering wheel didn't move a whole lot, but it sent him right up the racetrack into the path of PJ Cox. PJ have a fast repair? Looks like he may have. Yeah, he's down and away, so lucky for PJ. Might have been able to stay on the lead lap here. I think he did. Yep, leader's just off turn 4. PJ Cox exiting pit lane, so he'll stay on the lead lap here as we're just past halfway. Things that make you go, Got some takers on pit lane here again. I'm assuming it's going to be fuel only. Jeremy Paris, Derek Welch, Mitchell Howell, Chris Goins, Ken Couch, Brandon Domain, and others. Basically a stop and go for Paris, just fuel only. Mitchell Howell's going to follow him out next. Well, with that, we're going to step aside here, get a very short break before we go back green flag racing. Stay with us, folks. We'll be right back.
I met Marcos Garza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Talladega Super Speedway, past the halfway point in the Garza Law Firm Talladega 70. Working caution for the third time here today. Going to be lap 38 when we take the green flag once again. Tim Stubblefield going to lead them to green. Kevin Winker has battled back all the way to the front row after his incident out of turn 4. Single truck spin, didn't hit anything, but was in a bad position out of the draft, half a lap behind the race leaders. Got lucky with the cautions, has worked his way back to the front of the field and back in contention here. The Garza Law Firm Talladega 70. Got Jesse Redding in the stream chat cheering on Chris Goins. Goins getting ready to restart here, back in the 16th position.
Green flag.
Green flag back in the air. Stubblefield in the throttle. Might be a little too far out ahead of Chris Klein. You get too far out in front of these super speedways, the trailing truck can build a run. And you can make that choice. Either drop down and hit you, or in this case, there's enough room for Winker to get to the bottom. He tucks in behind the race leader. Now Grettenberger on the high side with Brett Guzik pushing. He's got a run out of turn number 2. Guzik been relatively quiet for the first half of this race. All of a sudden, he's there in contention at the front of the field, pushing Grettenberger to the point from the outside, but do they have enough numbers to make it work? It's Grettenberger, Guzik, and Rossi, the top 3 trucks in that high lane. At the stripe, Grettenberger is going to lead again. He's been a front-running contender, drops down in front of Stubblefield. He gets clear, but not by a whole lot. The low lane is where you want to be, and it leaves Guzik high and dry. Paris is going to come here to the rescue, though. He's going to tuck in behind Rossi for just a second, goes to the outside. Going to try and shuffle Rossi back into the middle of the pack here, but Welch doesn't go with the 24, so Paris all by his lonesome on the high side. He may get freight trained here. Paris has to tuck back in behind Brian Shepard here, pull the draft again. Now it's Chris Klein that jumps up into the high side. Through that exchange, Guzik takes the lead, but Rossi jumps down in front of Grettenberger. He wants to go for the race lead. Welch pushing Guzik on the high lane. Now in the bottom, Grettenberger pushing the 11. They're off center. You don't want to wreck them. Rossi to the point out of turn number 2. A hard left on corner exit that's going to scrub some speed. Guzik's going to have a run on the high side. Welch giving the push. Brian Shepard pushing as well. 3 trucks there together. Winker in the mix as well. Welch drops down in front of the 42. A big push. Welch hangs on to it. Winker got in the back of the number 1 NTG Toyota, and it wasn't a straight shot. Lucky for the 1 to not lose it. Coming to 30 laps to go. Rossi now your new race leader. Guzik leading on the high side. Again, not enough numbers there up in the top lane. Put on too much of a challenge, though they're making it work. Guzik, Welch, and Winker up top. It's Rossi, Grettenberger, Stubblefield on the bottom. But more numbers of trucks on the bottom. Grettenberger all over the back bumper, man. I'm worried about this one. Wide at the line. Winker coming up the gut. Chris Klein giving the push. Welch drops in behind the 51. Now again, Guzik and Paris. They get freight trained on the high side another time. Rossi still with the lead. Winker in second to his outside. Grettenberger in behind the 11 of Rossi. Now he's got Winker to his right elbow. Absolute chaos. That's all I can say. Chaos here at Talladega Super Speedway. Rossi's going to lead this lap, but only by about a foot. Winker with the charge up the center lane. He's got two NTR drivers in behind, Chris Klein and Derek Welch. Those are the drivers, the 51 and the 1. Providing draft support to Kevin Winker in that middle lane. On the bottom, it's Rossi, Grettenberger, Stubblefield. Up top, oh, look at that Morrow guy and Brett Guzik. Jeremy Paris just won't go away. Top lane starting to get organized here. A little more trucks involved. Winker drops down in front of Rossi, takes over the top spot. Winker back to the point after his issues. Grettenberger almost lost it into turn number 3. Slides it up the racetrack, keeps it down to the bottom lane. Now the inside, the middle lane with Chris Klein and Derek Welch. They could be in trouble if they don't get some more help. Guzik thought about jumping in behind the 1, thinks better of it. Morrow now stays in front on the high line. Guzik in tow. Jeremy Paris, then the 13 of Brandon Domain. Got that S4 guy in the stream chat. Rest in peace in advance to most of these lead trucks. Matt Sisler, I second that. Jesse Redding, another poignant comment. Dead and they don't even know it. I don't know. I don't know how they can make it all the way to the finish like this, but man, it's some great racing here at Talladega Super Speedway. Guzik out in front for the time being, just barely for the time being. Morrow with a little bit of a push from Derek Welch. With the big push on the high side, it's now Jeremy Paris and Brandon Domain. Paris pushing Guzik for all he's worth. Thought about dropping it down to the bottom. Now they go to the middle. Now they're all the way on the bottom. Guzik officially now with the race lead, clear of everybody. Derek Welch with a big run off the back bumper of Jeremy Paris with Brent Morrow. Welch goes back to the bottom. Guzik and Paris slide up the racetrack. Morrow goes with Paris. I tell you, Paris is not afraid to change lanes. He is all over this racetrack, top to bottom to middle. It doesn't seem to matter for that number 24 machine. He is not afraid. Morrow looking to the bottom, drops in front of Derek Welch. A little bit of contact to Jeremy Paris. I gotta say it. It seems almost like these super speedway races have more fender rubbing and more door-to-door action than Bristol, and I'm talking old Bristol. Except here you can pass. .25 laps to go. Paris out in front over the 71 of Brant Morrow. I hate to do it, folks, but we got to get one more HBR TV side-by-side break out of the way. Stay with us. You won't miss the action. We'll be back after this.
I met Marco Scarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Talladega Super Speedway, we continue to watch the battle here with Derek Welch and Jeremy Paris. You saw as we went to break, everyone peeled off, not everyone, but a good majority of the drivers peeled off, hit pit lane under the green flag for their final stop of the afternoon. Paris was in and out very quickly, but the unfortunate part is he left without any dancing partners. And I say dancing partners, I mean drafting partners. He had no one to work with, and very quickly, Derek Welch and Brett Guzik able to reel in the 24, and you see it right now. Welch out in front of Jeremy Paris. Of course, these four trucks have linked up out in a draft. Ed Marshall has become the interloper in this mix of four trucks. Currently running back in about the 19th position. Heath Snyder, however, your race leader. He also made his pit stop about lap 35, so he was able to get in and out very quickly, was able to do it while staying in the draft. So with 20 now coming to 19 laps to go, Chris Goins just edges out in front for a brief moment. He's got no one out in front of him, but he's got help with Ken Couch in the 08 just behind him. The 93 that's in front of those two drivers, a lap truck, not on the lead lap. That's going to be the 71. No, that's not Morrow. That is the 93 of Howell. Howell's actually 3 laps down the position that he's in right now. He's actually, why would you bother? He's in the draft. He's up to speed. I know there's probably some drivers out there that thinks that he should just get out of the way. I guess that's a topic for another day. Brant Morrow in the pit lane. Likely to be his last stop of the race. 18 laps to go. He's going to lose a lap here. He's also the only one coming down by himself. He's going to leave pit lane without any drafting help. Race leaders out of turn 4. Watching this battle here for the race lead. Got Chris Goins on the high side. He's got Ken Couch and Drew Blaze. I think they're just riding here. I know we've got 17 to go. You got Justin Johnson in behind Drew Blaze. Those two guys typically stay awfully close to each other, especially on the super speedways. They do a lot of working together, both running this series. Big run for Justin Johnson, closes up on Drew Blaze in a hurry, has to lift. Jarrett Woodard, the number 79, could close in a little bit faster here, close up tighter to the tailgate of Justin Johnson, that number 10X Roman numeral. Out of turn number 2, Chris Goins with the race lead. Again, the lap truck on the inside. It's Mitchell Howell, the number 93. He is not the race leader if he's ahead in that lane. He's actually 3 laps down. For now, I guess it's okay, but I'm sure Snyder wants to make a move and get around that number 93 truck. Coming to 15 laps to go. Chris Goins still your race leader on the high side. Number 41, Popple entry. A little bit of a push from Ken Couch to the back bumper of Chris Goins. Squares him up in the middle of the corner. I'm not sure if Ken Couch realizes that the 93 truck's not the race leader. He's pushing Goins as if he's helping him by. You know, Goins may want to go to the bottom here, try to clear the 93 of Howell, but Howell not on the lead lap. Again, 3 laps down. Couch loosens up Goins just a bit out of turn 4. Slows his pace just a bit, still able to stay alongside Snyder, but now Snyder at the stripe. He's going to have the race lead, at least for the time being. We've seen Snyder many a time able to close up to the back bumper. We've seen Jeremy Paris do the same, but close up to the back bumper and at the last second pull hard right and go around the inside truck and take the lead or that position away. I think Chris Goins needs to stay tight to the 29, not leave a truck width between himself and the 29 so that Snyder cannot pull that move. But now the high lane has lost its drafting help. Goins and Ken Couch all by their lonesome. Couch thinking about going to the bottom and going to hang Chris Goins out. Jarrett Woodard, the next one to come up into the mix. With a lap truck leading, I just don't know if that's the way to go. I think the high side is the place to be. Seems that everybody else has changed their minds on that front. Now the high lane has got 5 trucks, but they're going to have to do some work to try and come back up. Snyder may be making a move here to go around this lap truck at any moment with 13 laps to go. Snyder, though, with the race lead. Brandon Domain in behind in the number 13 machine. And Snyder pushing Howell with all he's got. I got to hand it to Howell, though. I mean, again, a lot of drivers are going to say, oh, you should get out of the way. You're laps down. You're 3 laps down. But he's putting his sponsor out in front, that's for sure. And he's certainly able to take the push from the 29. So I say, let it go. Right on board with Mitchell Howell, looking back at the race leader, Pete Snyder. And pit stop's underway once again. Ken Couch coming down pit lane with 11 laps to go. Drew Blaze, Justin Johnson, Brian Shepard, PJ Cox. I'd say half the field roughly coming down pit lane here for their final stop of the race. Brian Shepard has to back it up here. He's going to lose a lot of time in his pit box. Drew Blaze down pit road. He's finished up his pit work. Fuel only for almost all these drivers. In fact, it was indeed fuel only for all of them. Ken Blackburn spends 20 seconds in the pits here. Don't know if he just missed the box or took tires or all of the above. Blackburn out of the pits as the race leaders bear down on him. No drafting help for the 155. He's going to lose a lap for certain. A lot of these drivers, though, that peeled off, they're going to stay on the lead lap. Now the question remains. Everybody else that did not pit during that last cycle, are they going to have to make one more stop? Do they have enough fuel to make it to the end? A lot of these drivers at the front of the field, they pit around lap 35, lap 36. That's about halfway, just past in some cases. Less than 10 laps to go. Infinity Frost says, dude spun us going into the pits. I missed it, but here we go. Pit stops underway for the race leaders. We'll go back to that in just a moment. The question I was going to ask is, who did he spin? Because I don't know who Infinity Frost represents. Help me out, man. Brandon Domain getting into the pit lane a little bit faster than Snyder. Hopefully he didn't get popped for speeding. So we'll watch the race leader here come down pit road. I assume it's going to be fuel only, into the box. Clean, doesn't have to back it up. Down and away. 7.6 seconds, but Brandon Domain was faster by almost 8/10. Domain back to the point. Chris Goins out behind Snyder. Domain officially with the race lead right now, but the pack coming in a hurry at full speed. Domain still on the apron, has to get to that blend line, cannot come up the racetrack just yet. Still going. You see the pack at full speed off of turn number 2 down the backstretch. I think they'll be okay. They've got drafting help in Snyder and Goins. They can work together. This could work out. They're going to catch these 3, but it's not going to be like a parked car on the highway. Infinity Frost says the 89 machine. I'll look it up. That's Jared Haynes. Brandon Domain maintaining the top spot here, coming to 8 laps to go, but Snyder is looking aggressive in the rear view mirror. .189 miles per hour into turns 3 and 4. Brandon Domain still with the lead over the 29 of Heath Snyder. Chris Goins runs in third, and Jeremy Paris is fourth. Ed Marshall, the number 16's worked his way up into the top 5, coming to 7 laps to go. I know it looks like a 4-truck battle, but there's 4 trucks behind these guys that all have a shot as well. They can catch them in a hurry. 7 laps is an eternity here on super speedways, especially here at Talladega Super Speedway. Marshall closing in now, less than 2 car lengths. Now it's a car length. Just like that, the 4-truck pack has grown to 6. Down the backstretch, Snyder giving Brandon Domain a big push. Stretches out his advantage, a half truck to Chris Goins. Jeremy Paris not willing to push the 41 just yet, trying to keep his engine cool for that last push. We've talked about it a bunch. Can they make it all the way to the finish here without a wreck? There's going to be aggression that's just going to get more and more aggressive as this race ticks down to its final laps. Chris Klein goes to the high side with Kevin Winker. Winker looking up top, making this a 3-lane battle. The inside lane's going to get hung out. Snyder went to make the move for the race lead, but he's only got Chris Goins to the back bumper. Jeremy Paris pushing Domain, but Chris Klein and Morrow pushing Winker on the high side. 8 trucks pretty much side by side here down the back straightaway with 5.5 laps to go. And you got Justin Johnson and Drew Blaze closing in as well. 2 guys that know how to get it done on super speedways. Domain and Winker lead the pack off turn 4, coming to 5 laps to go. Domain hangs in there in the lead, only by inches over the 42 of Kevin Winker. Winker now just edges out in front down the back straightaway. 4 trucks well organized, about to be 5 with Morrow closing the gap. Edward Marshall has closed into the back of Jeremy Paris. And look at that. What was once a 4-truck battle for the race lead here just a couple of laps ago, well, we've got a full pack of trucks here now. Brandon Domain to Dominic Rossi. Any one of these drivers has a shot here with 3.5 laps to go. Paris giving Domain another big push, checks up just a bit before they get into turn 3, drops the left sides just a hair below the yellow line, trying to get some fresh air into that engine to keep it nice and cool. Blackburn on the apron of the racetrack, not a factor. Got to hand it to Kevin Winker, though, not giving up after this spin out of turn 4 early on in the race. Battled back to challenge for the race lead here. He has the lead currently just by about a foot. Domain takes it back, seesaw back and forth. That's all it takes. It doesn't matter how far you win by. Winning is winning. If it's an inch or if it's a mile, it doesn't make a difference. Brandon Domain still out in front with that Ghost energy drink, Toyota Tundra TRD Pro. Outside, you got the 42 of Winker in the Chevy Silverado. Too close to call. There's help on both lanes. Equal numbers for the most part, top to bottom. They just got to stay organized. Whichever lane looks to be the straightest is likely to be the one that's going to push forward. Field working down the back straightaway, a lap and a half to go. Middle lane starting to get smaller and smaller. It's Winker and Klein. Guzik drops to the middle as well. Just a 3-truck draft in the center. You see they start to lose some ground. Domain slides up just a bit. I don't know if he's trying to get some air on the nose of the 24, if he's just trying to side draft the 42 a slight bit, but even through the tri-oval with only 3 trucks, now 4 trucks, now 5 trucks up the middle. Well, we got a battle once again. Drew Blaze drops it back down to the bottom lane here. Tucks in behind, I think that's Ken Blackburn. Nope, it's Justin Johnson. Similar colors. Final lap here from Talladega Super Speedway. Heath Snyder currently with a race lead. Chris Goins right there alongside. Now, Snyder out in front. Goins pushing the 29. Down into turn 3. In the middle of 3 and 4. 3 wide for the race win and the lead here at Talladega Super Speedway. Oh, and they get turned. Chris Klein up the racetrack takes out Chris Goins and the rest of the field as well. Big time wreck out of turn number 4. Snyder could hold on to this one. Marshall runs in second. Winker is third. No drafting help for the rest of the field. Snyder's going to cruise to victory in the Garza Law Firm Talladega 70. Ed Marshall finishes P2 and Kevin Winker doesn't get the win, but a great recovery and a 3rd place finish for the 42. Quickly take a look at that last lap crash. Off the nose of Brett Guzik, just an off-centered push. Again, last lap, last couple of corners. That's what you get here at Talladega. Jeremy Paris, a massive impact. Just got to be glad we're in the sim here, not real life. Chris Goins up into the catch fence. So Heath Snyder will cross the stripe here, finishes up his cool-down lap. Snyder, your race winner here. I don't know if he's waiting for confirmation, but kind of hoping to see a burnout here. Unless he's out of fuel. Can't imagine he is. Snyder just parks it. There we go. Now we're going to light him up. Probably sending the brake bias all the way to the front wheels. Gotta love the low RPM burnout. Trying to take care of that motor for next week. Well, with that, we're going to jump out and get our final break out of the way. We'll be back with our top 3 finishers after this. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I met Marco Sgarza when we were doing radiothons for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. We needed sponsors to help us raise money, and he's always the first one to jump in. I would describe Marcos and his team as upstanding, someone you can trust, and he is just a genuine guy.
Marcos has been very generous. He has a genuine concern for people. You need somebody that cares about you. And that's what Marcos is, and that's pretty much what this firm is.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Back at Talladega Super Speedway, the Garza Law Firm Talladega 70 in the books, and Heath Snyder in a thrilling finish just survived the chaos. Let's pull Heath Snyder up into the broadcast booth, get a word with our race winner. Heath, it's Steve in the HBR TV booth. You got a copy?
I gotcha.
Heath, congratulations, man. You were strong all afternoon long. I don't really think there was any consistent amount of time that you were outside the top 5. You showed the ability to be a great pusher out there, but when the time was right, you were able to make the moves, take over the top spot. Tell us about the strategies coming into tonight in decision-making process to take the lead and avoid the wrecks here late at Talladega.
Well, the strategy was to stay up front. I thought I'd be safest up there, but I got wrecked when I was in P1. So that strategy didn't kind of work out. At that point, it was just making my way back up to the front.
So lucky enough, we had a fast repair. That wreck wasn't the end of the afternoon for you. You're able to get the truck fixed, get back out there. And from that point on, it was still kind of the same strategy, at least from what we could see. Keep that truck at least near the front. How did you avoid that last wreck? It was just dumb luck.
Well, they all kind of just died behind me. I hate winning that way when there's nobody there, but I was like, okay, I guess we just coast to the line here.
Well, we said it before the broadcast was over. It doesn't matter how you win, as long as you win. At Talladega, it's the way that it goes sometimes. Everybody's pushing, everybody's aggressive there on those last couple of laps, and more often than not, that's kind of how they end up. You take the win here tonight. Congratulations, a great run. What are your thoughts going into next week?
I'm looking forward to it. I'm glad I was able to make the race tonight. I've been under the weather, but felt good enough to hop on tonight. Good thing I did.
Well, Heath, again, congratulations, man. We wish you the best of luck. Who do you want to shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, shout out to all the guys back at Hyperforce. Got Don Wheaton on the hood, Abruzzi, Grid Vision, Racer, and all of them. Thanks to my girlfriend for letting me do this and not getting too mad at me, but appreciate you guys at the broadcast and everybody at Lonestar for putting on this season.
So in my couple of years of doing broadcasts, more often than not, I hear drivers thanking the wife or the girlfriend for letting them do this and letting them do that. At one point, I had a girlfriend that would be willing to drive my truck or car while I had to use the bathroom under cautions. Does your girlfriend drive it under yellow for you?
I don't think I would trust her to.
Just curious, man, but run it by her one of these days. See if she's willing to do it.
I'll think about it.
All right, Heath. Well, thanks for talking to us, man. Good luck next week at Charlotte.
Thank you, sir. Have a good one.
Heath Snyder, your race winner here at Talladega Super Speedway. Next, we're going to pull up P2, Ed Marshall, into the broadcast booth. Get a word with our runner-up. Ed, it's Steve in the HBR TV. You got us?
Yes, sir. How are you, Steve?
We're doing good, Ed. Congratulations. A runner-up finish here at Dega. Sometimes it's just a matter of surviving. It certainly was the case there through turns 3 and 4 on the final lap. Walk us through what you saw from your perspective, whether it was out the windshield or the rearview mirror, to get you home to second place.
All I could see is Paris's name on the truck in front of me, and I knew that I really didn't have much of a choice. There's 2 lanes formed on the outside of me, and I'm looking at my right monitor, and there ain't no room. So it's at that point in time, it's just hang on.
Well, you hung on indeed. Again, restrictor plate style racing here at Talladega Super Speedway. It's kind of what we've come to expect. It is what it is. There's certainly going to be some maybe some short tempers to deal with, but again, that's the kind of thing that we deal with here on the super speedways. It's just like big short tracks these days. But either way, you come home with a second place finish. Next week we roll into Charlotte Motor Speedway, kind of NASCAR's home. How do you feel about your chances out there on the mile and a half?
I feel really good about mile and a half tracks in general. Charlotte, I'm normally pretty quick at. I've seen them have pretty good speed throughout every track we've been to this year that I've made it to, and Charlotte's no different. I think I'd be disappointed if I didn't get a top 3 at Charlotte.
Well, good to hear it. Unfortunately, at HBR TV, we may be tape delaying that broadcast next week because I personally will be out of town. Can't cover that one, but I'll try to get it done when I get back from out of town. So either way, we wish you the best of luck, Ed. Who do you want to shout out to before we let you get going here?
Big shout out to Premier Racing Setups, your one-stop shop for everything from dirt oval to asphalt oval, dirt road, and actually road cars now. So Premier Racing Setups, it's a place to be. Also like to shout out Bowie Esports. There's a great team over there, and a lot of learning capabilities. If you're new to racing, head on over to Bowie Esports and get on their program. Also, my wife for allowing me to race on such a Thursday night that she's probably already in bed, and when she watches this tomorrow, she'll understand why.
So with all that said, I asked our race winner Heath Snyder about it as well. Some of the races that I have run in the past when I was brand new to iRacing, I had a tendency to drink a lot of liquids in the middle of my races. When the caution came out, that was my cue to hit the bathroom. And on the last minute, I said, hey, can you jump in and drive this thing while I'm taking a leak under the caution flag? And she would do it. She got it done. She didn't wreck the car. But my question is, you ever had the wife drive the truck under caution?
Absolutely not. We tried that in a practice session, and I think she struggles getting out of first or second gear. So maybe about 100 more hours of practice, and I might trust her to drive the race truck.
Well, fair enough, Ed. Again, congratulations, man, on the second place finish here tonight. Wish you the best of luck next week. Anybody else you want to shout out to before we let you go?
I think that's all. Thank y'all for broadcasting this. Appreciate it. It's always good to go back and watch.
Thanks for the kind words, man. Good luck next week.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Ed Marshall, your second place finisher here at Talladega Super Speedway. Last but not least, I want to talk to K-Dub here. Kevin Winker, pull him up into the broadcast booth, driver the number 42 Chevy Silverado. Kevin Winker, you got us?
Yes, sir.
Kevin, congratulations, man. First off, I want to talk about that first incident early on in the race. You got spun out of turn 4, didn't hit anything. The outlook did not look good from that point on, but you got lucky enough to catch the caution, stayed on the lead lap, worked your way all the way back to the front of the field here to finish third. Tell us about your race, walk us through that incident and what you had to do to get back out front.
Yeah, I like to kind of be up front in these plate track races, so it's kind of my game plan all night. And then I think that was, I don't know who it was, but I think it was just kind of pushing the pusher type deal, and I kind of got up a little high, lost the nose, and then he just hit me in the left ear at a bad spot and turned me around. But luckily I cut off the wall, locked it down, and then I was hoping for a caution. Got one there. And then kind of got off strategy with my teammates there. I remember a caution was around lap 30. We stayed out to gain all the track position because we knew that we couldn't make it from there. So we stayed out, and then we pitted once the field window opened, and then a couple of guys came with us. And then I got to thank Derek for kind of side drafting that lead pack because me and Chris were behind, and I was like, hey, go up there and side drive and slow him down so we can catch him, and then he did. And then it all worked out. And then at the end there, I don't really know what happened. Chris was pushing me there. I was clear, dropped down to the bottom. And then all mayhem broke loose on the last lap, and somehow I kept it straight on the apron and came home P3.
So I was going to ask you about that too. Of course, the last lap on these super speedways, always chaos unfolding. What did it look like from your perspective? Was it all out the rear view, or was it out a little bit to the right side of the truck? I mean, what did it look like from your perspective?
It's to the right side pretty much. I just remember I got doored by somebody on the apron, and I don't know how I kept it somewhat straight. I was waiting to get hit again, but luckily I didn't. And then, like I said, just came across P3 there, because once that happens, there's no really draft up there, so it's kind of just get to the finish line where you can. So, but overall, it was a great race, rebounded nicely, so I'll take a P3 for the night.
Top 3 finish at the super speedway, certainly good points day. I think anybody be happy with that as long as you get to the finish line without a damaged race truck. That's always a plus. Next week we'll go to Charlotte Motor Speedway, the 1.5 miles. How do you feel about your chances there next week?
I feel pretty good. I know there's a lot of fast guys at the 1.5 miles, so I'm hoping probably maybe top 7 or 8. I don't know. We'll see. I know I was pretty fast at Chicago, got top 5 there. Atlanta, I got obviously 1. So see what kind of strategy plays in there. I know with tires can kind of be a thing there, so maybe try to bank a set or something to see with that. But I'm optimistic going into next week.
That's all you can do, Kevin. Again, congratulations. Top 3 here at Talladega. Who do you want to thank before we let you go?
First, as always, I want to thank Bruce Muehlberger Custom Wheels Board sponsor me in all my leagues. I know he's watching tonight, so big shout to him for watching. All Winker Nation, my girlfriend Shauna, Justin, Brandon, Nicole, Brett, Dylan, all them guys every night that come out and watch me. Can't thank enough. I think my teammates at Nump Thumbs Gaming or Nump Thumbs Racing over there, Derek, Chris, and Timmy. I gotta thank Derek again for kind of helping me and Chris get back up in that pack, so can't thank him enough. We were working well all night together. I was kind of upset that we couldn't get one of us in victory lane, but shout out to them guys. Good every week. Shout out to the league admins that run this, and then you in broadcast booth. We appreciate you do a hell of a job.
Certainly do appreciate the kind words, Kevin. I'm going to ask you the same question I asked our top 2 since Shauna's in the stream chat here tonight watching the broadcast. Have you ever had her drive the truck or the car or whatever series you're in under caution so you can go to the bathroom?
No, I have not, but I'm trying to get her in here. One of my other leagues wants to do like a powder puff type race where all the females race. I don't know if they're going to set that up, but if they do, I'm going to have her get in here, see how she does.
That's a great idea. And just to keep you in the loop, I did have a girlfriend in the past that did the same for me. She jumped into the car while I had to use the restroom. She managed to keep it on the track, and this was on road courses, so she did a good job. But yeah, I fully support that idea. The powder puff race, maybe get them in the Legends on the 1/4 mile at Charlotte, something like that. I think that's what they did in real life for some of the drivers' wives and girlfriends. I think that'd be a great thing. I'd even broadcast that one.
Yeah, it'd be a good idea. I might have to bring it up to the league admin, but even maybe do no damage so people can still race. But I think it'd be kind of fun to watch all that.
Perfect. All right, Kevin. Well, again, thanks for talking to us. Wish you the best of luck next week at Charlotte.
Sounds good. Thank you.
It's Kevin Winker, your 3rd place finisher here at Talladega Super Speedway. That's going to wrap it up for our interview portion of tonight's broadcast. Let's take a look at the race results. Of course, we talked to Heath Snyder, Ed Marshall, Kevin Winker, your top 3. Drew Blaze, didn't see a whole lot from him tonight, but manages to still come home with a 4th place finish. I think he avoided all the chaos and the wrecks there at the last lap. Chris Watkins was 5th. Dominic Rossi was P6. Sean Roberts was 7th. 8th place finisher was Randy Coaching. Kevin Grettenberger, 9th place. It's not too bad. It's tough to take, though. He spent a lot of time up near the front of the field here leading some laps. I'm sure he's looking forward to Charlotte at this point. Derek Welch finishes 10th. Chris Klein was 11th. Brett Guzik was 12th. Brandon Domain 13th. Chris Goins, after being involved in that crash, he was 14th. Jared Haynes 15th. Jonathan Arn, worst, started last, finishes 16th. David Dufour was 17th. 18th finisher, that went to Timmy Stubblefield. 19th was Jeremy Paris, not indicative of his night. He was 1 lap down. 20th, Ken Couch. Justin Johnson, 21st. Brian Shepard, 22nd. Jarrett Woodard was 23rd. Ken Blackburn, 24th. Brant Morrow, 25th. PJ Cox was 26th. 27th went to Mitchell Howell, 4 laps down. Michael Eden, 28th. And Kyle Morrison, 68 laps down. Only made those first 2 laps. Not sure the situation there with the 12th, but nevertheless finishes out last but not least. It's going to wrap it up for us here at Talladega Super Speedway for the Garza Law Firm, Talladega 70. Thank you guys all for tuning in, especially thanks to those of you in the stream chat. I love when the stream chat is busy. It makes my job more fun, honestly. I like to interact with you guys. Don't be shy about it. Feel free to pop in that stream chat whenever you want. Try to keep it PG for the kids. You know, that's all I really ask. But you can make comments. You can throw drivers under the bus. If you think your driver got dumped by that other driver, go ahead and tell us about it. Maybe we'll bring it up. Maybe we'll say it in the chat. We do appreciate your participation. That just adds to this broadcast every single week. If you haven't already checked out our website, it's hbrtv1.com. There's a live tab there. Click the live tab on the day of the race. You should be able to find the live stream there on YouTube, or just check us out, youtube.com/@HBRTV1. Give us a like, a follow, share, subscribe. Now, I did say it during the broadcast, those likes are super important. Please, if you haven't already and you watched the broadcast tonight and you didn't hate it, click the like button. That like button makes such a big difference. It gets the broadcast out in front of new eyeballs, a new set of eyeballs, I guess you could say. They can watch the broadcast, which could be new fans of HBR TV, new fans of Lonestar Racing, or potentially even new drivers in the league. So it's a bonus all the way around. We do appreciate your participation in that. Lastly, want to congratulate Heath Snyder for taking the race win here at Talladega tonight. That's all for us here at HBR TV. I'm Steve Singer. We'll see you at the next one. Have a good night, folks.